cutting large format tiles is very difficult, especially if you don't have the right tools. It's much more complicated than cutting, of course, 12 by 24 inch tiles, which you can just use on a regular water saw. But for these tiles like here, which we have 24 by 48, these are going to be pretty difficult to cut with just a regular saw. Like a water saw, even if you have like a little bit of a bigger one, it's going to be pretty difficult. Usually the best saw that is recommended for these kind of tiles is the large format tile cutting saw, which you have a blade and you score it through across, and you slice it in the middle and it separates the two tile pieces. But that saw is really going to be good for if you have cuts going like this or like this, and a lot of the times you have to buy a really big saw in order to cut it like this. And prices for those kind of saws are going to be very expensive, anywhere from $500 to $1,000, even $2,000, even more than that, but it really depends. So it's going to be very expensive. And if you're remodeling your shower, you also probably want a shower niche for the shampoo, which in this case, if you are using that saw, you are not going to be able to cut out a opening like this for the niche, and in that case you're going to need a different kind of saw. And it really doesn't have to be expensive. I can show you guys in this video all the steps that we use that are very affordable to make really precise cuts, the blades that we use, everything like that. It really doesn't have to be expensive, so make sure you watch this video to the very end. And especially for these tiles right here, these are 32 by 64 inch porcelain tiles. It's going to be really expensive and hard for you to find a saw that is going to be able to slice it like this or like this precisely. And those are going to be, like I said, a very expensive, couple $1,000s, and you don't want to be spending all that money if you're just a DIYer and if you're doing this just for one time. If you are a professional and you do these kind of tiles, of course, it's going to be good for you to have these kind of saw. The method that we use is going to be very good, very affordable, and you'll get really good cuts without breaking any tiles. So the first thing that you will need to do is make sure to set up a good table with a piece of plywood that is very straight and clean, so that you don't have any vibration, because vibration is going to play a really big role, because you don't want any vibration so that you don't break any of the tiles, especially once you start cutting into the bigger tiles and cutting smaller pieces. Right now we are doing the cutout for the shower control valve, so we are actually using this Ryobi saw, which is a water saw. However, we don't actually have it connected to the water here because we are working indoors, so we didn't want any water or any mess like that. So this will cause a lot of dust, but all you have to do is to make sure you have a fan that is going to be ventilating all of that dust. So you're gonna have all that dust ventilated through into that window. Also wear a mask because you don't want to be breathing any of this dust in. But as you can see, this saw works really great even when it's on dry, and this blade that we're using as well is really good. It does not chip any of the tile, which is really good. And here, as you can see, we are cutting the tile. We are cutting a smaller part of the tile so that it fits between the walls, and it's doing it no problem. This saw works really well. It's only $99. You can find it in Home Depot. And here we go. It is such a straight line with no chips at all. So this is definitely going to give really good results. And like I said, it's very affordable, so no need for one of those big tile cutting saws. Right here, we're cutting out the hole for the handheld shower head. And here, we're basically repeating the same exact process for the cutout for the shower control valve. So this is going to be the tile that goes above that first tile that we cut out. And here is the problem. Like I said, if you're using one of those big tile cutting saws that you score and you cut all across, it is not going to be able to do a cutout like this. So that's why you need to know how to at least use this kind of saw, so that you know how to make these cutouts, because it will be very important. As you can see here, we are doing the cutout for the niche. And if you guys were able to see it in that little clip, we actually started by cutting the more fragile part of the tile first, because you want to make sure that you're cutting that one first. So when you are cutting the bigger piece, that is going to be a lot more heavy, and you don't want that to be attached to the smaller, more fragile piece, because if you don't end up cutting it all the way through, then that small tile could actually make that little fragile piece crack off. And that is not what you want to do. So it is very important to start with the more fragile pieces in this part. When we were cutting the tile for this project, we weren't actually using any clamps to clamp it up to the table and that plywood to make sure that there's no vibration at all. In this case, we just didn't feel like that was necessary, and it came out to be true. It was not necessary because there was no problem at all with cutting it. However, we did cut before 30 by 60 inch tiles, which were much bigger, of course, so we did actually use clamps to make sure that there is no vibration, because those are a little bit bigger, so those will be more prone to breaking if there is any kind of vibration at all. But that is something to keep in mind, that you can use clamps to clamp it down to have no vibration at all, because like I said, if there's any little piece of trash or vibration, it will be very easy for these tiles to crack. And that is the end of this project. Take a look at how good this project turned out. These tiles look very nice. I really like what the clients did with this tile option. Everything turned out really good, and you can see actually we have a light up LED niche, which looks really good and just makes it look much more luxurious and expensive. I do actually have an entire video on this project, so if you guys would like to see the before and after and the whole entire transformation of this bathroom, definitely make sure to check it out. I will have it linked in the description below, and you can also find it on one of the cards at the end of this video. But I am going to let you guys enjoy the rest of this video and watch some of the before and after clips. But that is going to be it for this video. If you guys did find this video helpful, please make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you are new. That would definitely help me out a lot, and I will see you guys in the next video.